In this lesson, we'll learn how to make our first recording in Pro Tools. And it's recommended that you have a recording interface of some sort, whether that's a USB interface or external sound card. Nowadays, you can get by a $99 interface for good quality with multiple inputs and multiple outputs. And to configure this in Pro Tools, you're going to go to Setup and choose Playback Engine. And the Playback Engine selection, you can choose which sound card you're going to use. For this scenario, we're using the Pro Tools Aggregate I/O, and this allows me to use one device for my input and a different device for my output. So if I click OK, go back to Setup, and go to I/O, you can see that on the input, I have one input available coming from my USB microphone, and under Output, it's choosing the built-in output on my MacBook Pro. So I'll click OK. Now when you create a track, you want to go to Track, New. We'll choose one mono audio track, click Create. Then we'll jump to our mixer using Command equals or Control equals on a PC. And here I can put this track on Record Enable. So as I'm speaking through the USB microphone, it's picking up my voice and it's showing me the meters right here. Under Input, I can choose which input I'm going to have. So on a USB interface, you might have multiple inputs. You might even have 8 inputs. Some interfaces have even up to 32 inputs if you're going to be recording a live band. And then under Output, right here, you're going to see the available outputs. So in this case, built-in output. So it automatically sees my input, then it automatically routes it to the output. Now, as I'm talking, the key thing to note when you're recording in the digital realm is that you don't want your meters to be clipping up here in the red. You want to make sure your meters are somewhere between 20 and 10, and this gives you plenty of headroom. Headroom is the distance between the highest peak and digital zero. If you hit digital zero, you can get into unwanted clips, unwanted digital distortion, unwanted pops. And that's not going to be good for your recording. So let's close this window. And let's clean up our edit window a little bit. So we'll choose this edit window, disable comments, select it again, and enable I/O. And expand this. And now we have volume settings, volume control. We have pan control as well. One Pro Tools shortcut that will come in handy is the key Alt or Option on your computer keyboard. If I hold Alt or Option and I click on volume, it's going to snap to 0. That works also for the pan and for a lot of controls in Pro Tools. So let's make our first recording. Return it to 0, hit record and play. Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. We'll hit stop. And you'll notice that it created a file number for me, audio1_03. And if we record another take, this time I'll turn the click off, hit record, testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. See that it created another file named audio104. Now if I change the name of the track, let's say we call this vocals, click OK. So another recording. Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. Hit stop. It's going to label it vocals, which is the name of the track. It's going to put _01, which is going to be the first take. And let's do one more. Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3. Hit stop. Vocals _02. Now if I delete all these files, they're still available here under the clips. I can put them anywhere on the timeline. And here are all my takes. Let's go ahead and delete all those and just work with the one that's called vocals 01. There we go. We'll zoom in using our keyboard shortcut T, and we'll make a couple of cuts. So I'll put my cursor here and I'll use the letter B as in boy, and that's going to split the clip. And I'll make another cut right there. Now you'll notice that Vocals01, which is the whole file or the parent file, has multiple subset clips right below. And you also notice here that it labeled Vocal01-01. These are the different clips that it created when I started cutting up the file. And there it is. But because the nature of non-destructive editing, I can always undo, or I can always pull out and trim out the original recording, which is Vocal01, which is the parent file. Now you'll have a couple of options. If you use the grabber tool and double click on the clip, you have the option to rename the clip only or rename clip and disk file. Disk file pertains to the file that's located in the audio files folder of this session. So if I want to rename this, click OK. It's going to rename the actual clip. It's going to rename it here. I can right click, then I can choose Reveal in Finder, and there it is, Test Wave. So that's how Pro Tools manages files when you're recording.